Hello everyone, my name is Katie Sapia and I'm the project manager for the Sutherland Industrial Neighborhood Traffic Review. In this video, I will be going over some of the background information on the Neighborhood Traffic Review process, presenting the draft traffic plan to the Sutherland Industrial Neighborhood, discussing each of the recommendations in the draft traffic plan, going over the next step of the process, and discussing the method for you to send in your feedback on the draft traffic plan. To start things off, I want to get us oriented within the neighborhood. The map on your screen shows the study area, which is bound by Central Avenue to the west, College Drive to the south, and the CP rail line to the northeast. And 105th Street is shown in purple, Bircher Drive is in blue, and 103rd Street is in orange. The focus of the neighborhood traffic review is existing traffic concerns on the local and collector streets. Arterial streets such as Central Avenue and McKercher Drive are outside of the scope of the neighborhood traffic review. In terms of our progress within the neighborhood traffic review process, we have already completed stages 1 and 2. Which involved identifying traffic problems within the neighborhood, collecting data, and developing a plan to address those problems. We are now in stage 3 of the schedule, which involves presenting our proposed solution to the public in the form of a draft traffic plan, collecting feedback on that draft traffic plan, making any necessary changes or adjustments to the plan, preparing a report with a final version of the traffic plan, and presenting the final report to the Standing Policy Committee on Transportation. We anticipate that this stage of the schedule will be completed in the spring of 2021. I'll discuss the next steps in the schedule later in the presentation. I would now like to go over the concerns that we have heard for this neighborhood during stages 1 and 2 of the process. In terms of speeding and shortcutting through the neighborhood, the main concern we heard was speeding on 105th Street. We have heard of the desire for sidewalks near Joseph Okamosas Drive and near the intersection of 103rd Street and Packham Avenue. We have also heard about the general lack of sidewalks throughout the neighborhood. We also heard some concerns regarding the traffic operations at the intersection of McKercher Drive and 105th Street, College Drive and Central Avenue, and 105th Street and Joseph Okamosas Drive. Other concerns we have heard include the CP rail crossing on Central Avenue, the condition of College Drive, snow piles at intersections that are causing sight distance issues, and that cycling throughout the neighborhood is difficult. After gathering these concerns from residents, we began our data collection program. Throughout the data collection process, we performed a number of site visits to gather field observations of road conditions and traffic patterns, conducted traffic volume and speed studies at 2 locations within the neighborhood, conducted intersection traffic volume studies at 2 locations within the neighborhood, and analyzed collision data for the neighborhood. We used the results from our data collection program to create a draft traffic plan that recommends a number of changes to the road within the neighborhood. In the next few slides, I will go over each of the recommendations in detail, but in general, we are proposing a number of improvements such as new sidewalks, parking restrictions, and speed display devices. The first recommendation involves the speeding concern for 105th Street. We will be installing 2 speed display boards on 105th Street in order to encourage drivers to slow down. Both devices will be installed on the 100 block of 105th Street. One will be facing eastbound traffic, the other will be facing westbound traffic. This is an example of the speed display device. It will tell your current speed and give an indication if you are traveling above the posted speed limit. The speed display boards are installed temporarily for 1 year. In addition to the speed display devices, we will forward the speed data we collected to the Saskatoon Police Service so that they can consider this information when deploying their enforcement officers. The second recommendation involves the speeding on 103rd Street. We will be installing 2 speed display devices on 103rd Street to encourage drivers to slow down. Both devices will be installed on the 300 block of 103rd Street. One will be facing eastbound traffic, the other will be facing westbound traffic. Our third recommendation is regarding the intersection of 103rd Street and Packham Avenue. Parking restrictions will be implemented on the northeast side of the intersection to improve the sight distance. The fourth recommendation is for the installation of missing sidewalks and pedestrian accessible ramps on Joseph Okamasas Drive, on 103rd Street, and on Packham Avenue. We will be constructing these sidewalks and ramps according to the Sidewalk Infill Program and Curb Ramp Program. A recommendation for new sidewalks in the Neighbourhood Traffic Review will increase the priority for that location within the Sidewalk Infill Program. The next steps in Stage 3 of the Neighbourhood Traffic Review process will be to collect feedback on these 4 recommendations. The comment period will be open until March 12, 2021. Once that comment period has come to an end, we will revise the traffic plan and prepare a report to present to the Standing Policy Committee on Transportation. The next stage of the process involves the implementation of the traffic plan, which includes the preparation of plans and installation of the recommendations. Signage and pavement markings are typically installed within 1 year after presenting the report. The evaluation stage includes the follow-up assessments to determine the effectiveness of the temporary traffic calming measures. Since there are no physical traffic calming measures recommended for this neighborhood, this stage does not apply. Please feel free to reach out to me if you think of any additional questions, comments, or concerns. There are a few different methods for submitting comments. You can post directly on the saskatoon.ca/engage page, subscribe for updates at saskatoon.ca/ntr, use the Report a Traffic Issue app, give me a call at 306-657-8782, send me an email at ntr@saskatoon.ca, or a letter at 222 3rd Avenue North, Saskatoon, S7K0J5. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to hear from you soon.